What is up, Make More Sales fam? Let me jump in. Just double check that we are live. Of course, give me a second if you're getting the replay and you're thinking, oh, this is so boring having to watch people bugger around with their lives. Well, we're here and we're live. So if you are here, whether it's live or on the replay, give me a shout out so you stand out and so that I know you're here. So give me a hashtag, your name in the comments below. Hit the like button. Part of being here is it's about you participating. It's about you being part of this conversation. And so if you're just kind of sitting there in the background being a consumer rather than being connected, then I wonder if that's how you're showing up in life. Hey, Kay, welcome, welcome. So I can see that there's some people jumping on. Give me a hashtag, your name in the comments, whether you're here now or catching the replay. Today is a really, really what I would define as a breathtaking topic. How's that? A breathtaking topic. So this is the weekly Ask Me Everything, and today is specifically around mindset. So if you have been feeling like there's a darkness, whether that's in your heart or your mind, if you've been feeling like there's a degree of emptiness in you and around you, and you're really seeking to understand yourself better so that, number one, you can grow and expand through this experience and get back to joy, but also understand it so that you don't have to keep going through this pattern, then stick around because today's going to be hugely, hugely impactful for you. The question that's come through is from an anonymous person, and they've said that they've been feeling overwhelmed and at capacity, that they've lost the joy for their business and their life, and they're asking me, what would I do? So we're going to look at that today. Now, I can see there's some of you still jumping on. Give me a hashtag, your name, if that's you. Don't be a bystander. How you show up in this conversation is how you're showing up in life and in your business. So if you've come here just to consume rather than connect and participate, you're missing out on a huge part of what's going on. You're missing out on showing up. So let me know that you're here, guys, because it's really, really important that this is about a conversation. It's not just about me speaking at you, and I want you to be here. Hey, Bernadette, thank you. So the questions come through. Now, before we get into the hack today and the solution, because you are going to walk away with a solution, I promise you that, I want to caveat everything that we're about to speak about today by saying this. It is normal in life and in business to have waves. Yes, you are never going to be up all the time. You are never going to feel joy all the time. You're never going to feel sad all the time. You're never going to feel darkness all the time. There is going to be waves. You know that, and I know that, right? However, it is not normal, because like those waves are required in order for you to grow through challenge. But what's not normal and what's not required is when you have lengthy periods of emptiness, of exhaustion, of sadness. And what's not normal is the depth of that feeling. So yes, we are talking about joy, and we're talking about a reconnection to your vision and your purpose today. But I want to be clear that it is so normal for you to have waves. But even in those waves, today is going to be hugely beneficial because as we go through the next 30 minutes, you're going to understand how to shorten those waves of challenge and like shorten the time frames of them so that you're getting yourself out of it quicker, and also making sure that the depth of that experience in terms of the sadness, the darkness, the emptiness, the loneliness, making sure that that's not deep, right? Because you don't want these massive depths of darkness. So stick around because we're going to learn what is causing it and how you get yourself out of it quicker. Because the quicker you can get yourself out, the quicker you can go on to have a bigger impact, because you stay stuck when you're in that darkness and then you don't shine your light for the rest of the world. So the term burnout, in my opinion, is at a point of being completely overused, and it's generic and it's meaningless. And this is not a disrespect of you if you use the term burnout in your business. And I'm not saying don't use the term, because sometimes you've got to use generic terms that your people can connect with. But I really want to make it clear today what burnout looks like as an actual, tangible, living experience, not just some generic term that happens. Because this is what we're talking about when you talk about feeling a lack of joy, a lack of unfulfillment, a lack of clarity on why am I here, right? So if you're experiencing what I'm about to share with you, then this is your version of either burning out, so you're on the way, or you've already burned out. So if you have periods where you feel really connected to yourself, really connected to your mission, really clear on what your purpose is, really clear on how you want to help humanity and what you want to do, and then all of a sudden you feel like you lose it, and like this could happen every 2 to 3 weeks, by the way, and then all of a sudden you feel like you lose it, and then you start to get frustrated when your clients message you. And when you hear an email come in, or you hear a message come in, and you know it's one of your clients, and you're like, oh, what do they want? Not this again. And you haven't even read the thing yet. Sometimes it could be something amazing, but you're just in this state of, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with them. I don't know what I'm doing. You're starting, if your periods are like this, then that's not normal, right? And we're going to get clear on how you get rid of that today, and how you stay connected to your vision and stay energized. But if you have periods where you want to retract from the world, you don't want to communicate, you're crying a lot, or you're stressed and anxious a lot, and then on the other side of that, you have these periods where you are a force to be reckoned with, and you're in your energy and you're in your zone and you're powerful and you show up, that's a big wave to be having. That's a big up and down wave. And it's actually easier to fix, so to speak, than what you might think. So I'm going to do a little diagram because, we all love a drawing, but seriously, what I'm going to show you today, it just makes it so much easier for our brain to understand concepts when we can see something visually, right? So we're going to talk about the difference between stability and instability. And again, these might seem like buzzwords. So let me give you a little definition so that we're all on the same page. Stability and instability are basically the rules that govern your life DNA. Your life DNA. So your life will have, much like your body, a DNA. And you've created it. So for the purpose of this conversation, the term stability, we're going to define it. You might want to write this down. We're going to define the term stability as your comfort of fitting into your life. And everyone has a different level of what that comfort means to them. So for example, some people, we'll use the analogy of a boat, right? Some people will get on a boat, so they'll step onto the boat and they find their sea legs pretty easily and pretty quickly, meaning that regardless of what the boat's doing, they can take on the challenge and the movement and everything that's going on with a fairly minimal degree of discomfort. That's their degree of stability, right? The degree of movement with what's going on around them. Other people will get on the boat and can't handle the swaying, and they'll get motion sickness, like almost instantly. So again, we start to see this degree of stability or instability, and it's actually not about what's going on outside of the boat or even what the boat is doing. It's about the individual's ability to maintain stability regardless of what's going on around them, right? So the stability is your degree of comfort in fitting into your life DNA. And then instability, because you can't have one without the other, right? Stability can't exist unless instability exists. And you definitely need both. You definitely need both for growth. How's that for a poem? But the definition of instability, and again, you might want to write this one down, is when it's everything that stability is not. So you will have a set of precursors in your mind that are requirements for you to feel stable. It might be things like, I have to have 8 hours sleep. If I don't have my 8 hours sleep, I'm unstable, right? If I have my 8 hours sleep, I'm stable. It might be, I need to get out in nature and I have to walk for a certain period of time every single day in order for me to be stable. And you'll notice that if you don't do that thing, you start to have a degree of instability. So you will have your own set of precursors, and they're unique for you. That's your life DNA. And we need to make the distinction here between stability and instability, because you will to a certain degree, right? You will wave. Like I said at the start, there are going to be waves. The waves are normal. Let's do a share screen and a drawing while I grab my coffee from my child, as we normally do at every Ask Me Anything on a Friday. He's a good kid. Okay, but seriously, right? So if we're thinking about stability and instability, right, at opposite ends of the spectrum, so your ability to maintain stability will be on this spectrum here. And like I said, some people will get on the boat with a very small degree of instability, and others, that tiny change will, be a precursor for them to rapidly move down to instability pretty quickly. So the first thing you want to get really clear on, which we're not going to do in this session, but you want to get really clear, and you might want to write this down for you to go back to after the session. So the task for you is to get really, really clear on what are my precursors for stability. And the reason you want to get clear on that is because once you know what your precursors for stability are, you know what your triggers are, and you know how to set up structures in your day, week, and month to do your very best to maintain your precursors as a degree of maintaining stability. Let me know in the comments, is this making sense so far? Give me a yes if this is making sense. I'm just going to jump in real quick. Annie, nice to see you. Beautiful. You agree. Shane's given us her name. Bernadette says, it's so good to be here with you, Kay. Christopher, ride the wave. All right, so let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you so far. And like I said, the first thing that you want to do after today's session is go and write a list of what are my precursors for stability. Because the more you understand yourself, the better you can set up your day, week, month, year, business, life to have smaller periods of instability. Yes? All right, so that's number one. We have to understand that there are going to be shifts between stability and instability. That's normal. What we're trying to do, though, is we're trying to understand what gets us to this red zone and what are the things that we can do to really maintain a degree of stability within our day, week, life, month, year business. Okay, that's number one. Because if you're spending a lot of time over here in the red zone, then it's going to be really hard for you to grow a thriving business, whatever that looks like for you, by the way. You may not want a 7-figure business. You may not even want a multi-6-figure business. It's up to you. It's your definition of success. But whatever that is, you're going to struggle to create it if you are spending long periods of time over here in instability. So the more you understand what your precursors are for stability, the greater chance that growing the things that you want to grow become obtainable to you. Number one. Once you understand what your precursors are for stability and instability, now we get to have a look at the pathway to true fulfillment. And I'm about to share with you where most people get stuck and give you the secret sauce, literally the key on how you stop feeling unfulfilled. Because it is absolutely obtainable. But we can't transform what we don't acknowledge and what we don't know. So today's really going to be a massive, massive insight. So there are there's almost like four pillars. If we want to look we're going to look at this through a business lens, right? So there's four pillars inside of your business growth journey that go on within you, right? So today's all mindset. And so remember, this is from a business perspective, a business lens, right? So the first pillar that you experience in your business journey within you and around you is the pillar of growth. Now, the pillar of growth is where you get educated on the things that you want to be educated on. So whether that's your service delivery, your creativity, your business growth, but you are growing through education. You also grow in your business through experience. So last week we did the step ladder, the stairway to six figures and beyond. And, you know, to kind of refer back to that, the experience factor is a big one because a lot of the times we are at step 2 in our business growth journey and we start to compare ourselves and beat ourselves up because we're comparing ourselves to somebody who's up at step 10 and we just don't realize that we can easily get to step 10. We've just got to go 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. So you grow through your experience, the doing inside of your business, the doing inside of yourself. But this gives you a degree of nourishment in your mind, your body, your soul, right? We all love to be educated. We all love learning. We all love experiencing. And you also grow through exposure. So what I mean by exposure is, let me know if this is something you can relate to. The people you have around you, the people you are exposed to, largely impact and determine what you perceive is even possible for yourself. How many times have you seen a mentor, for example, do something that you found really inspiring, and then all of a sudden you go, well, hang on a minute, this could be possible for me too. Let me know if that makes sense. So you grow through that exposure, you grow through being around people that you're exposed to that are like giving you access to what's possible that you didn't even think about at the time, right? That is the very first pillar inside of you, your mind and your body and your soul as it relates to business growth. So remember, the lens here today is business growth. If you stay at this growth level in the 4 pillars that we're about to go through, if you just stay at growth level, you can't go to your next level inside of your impact and your income. Meaning, if you just keep focusing on more education, experience, and exposure, you're just hanging out at this growth level. So we need to know the pillars in order to move up. And the reason it's really dangerous to stay at the growth level, you might be thinking, but growth's perfect. I want to do more growing. Of course you do. But if you stay here at growth level, unfulfillment. occurs. And this will all make sense as I take you up the pillars. One of the reasons unfulfillment occurs is because this is largely you, based on you and you alone. You might think that you're doing this education, experience, and exposure to share with other people. You might think you're doing it because you want to, you want to serve. But I promise you, at this level, you've actually placed you at the center. And when we actually place ourselves at the center, this is part of what's leaving people feeling unfulfilled and lacking joy. And it'll make more sense as we go along. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar is connection. And it might shock you that this is the second pillar, because for all of you that know me quite well, you know that I keep talking about connection. It's an important pillar. For those of you that coach privately in some of my higher level mastermind programs, we go into number 3 and number 4, which we're about to talk about here today. But so for those of you in Business Builder and doing some of the one-on-one coaching with me, you will know that we talk about connection. In order for you to get to 6 figures plus and beyond, you have to be able to get up to connection level. And I'm pretty sure that most of you here today are at connection level. So what does connection level mean? Connection level means that you're in your business, and you are in your business because you want to provide for yourself and your family. Number one. Nothing wrong with that. There has to be you involved, right? You have to be doing it for you and your family, of course. You'll have a connection to your friends or your loved ones, the people inside of your immediate sphere, and you'll be seeking to have a spiritual connection as well. Spiritual, got to spell today. But ultimately, what you're doing in your business is a large driver for you is you want to provide for yourself and your family. You want to be connected to your immediate sphere of influence and social networks. And, you're seeking that spiritual connection, and you see your business or your gift as the spiritual connection or the spiritual gift that you have to leave this world. Now, this is important. By the way, each pillar is important. But some of these pillars, if you stay only at these pillars, this is where a lack of joy and fulfillment occur, a lack of joy and fulfillment. So again, if you're at the connection stage only, this is still largely about you. You're still making the majority of your business and what you're doing about you. I need the money for me and my family. I want the freedom for me and my family. I want financial freedom and financial stability, and I've gone into business to create that. I want to give my spiritual gifts. Is this making sense? You see what I'm saying here? Now, it's important, but still, if you are at this level, you're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to have those big gaps, those big waves that we were talking about at the start of this session. Okay, thank you. Makes sense. Shane, makes sense. Annie, makes sense. Okay, great. I'm glad this is making sense so far. Stay with me because I'm building up to something and it's all going to come together, right? But we've got to understand each of the parts before we understand the whole. I can't just show you the whole without showing you the parts. So unfulfillment, surprisingly, is going to be occurring if you are stuck or just at this connection level. I want this. I want to give this. I want this for my family, if that's your main focus, right? When we transcend to the next level, so we're still, by the way, so you still have a desire for growth. You're still going to need that in business. You still have a desire for connection. You still have a desire to provide for you, provide for your family. It's not that you lose any of these. It's about transcending and accumulating each of the pillars, right? To get to fulfillment, to understand your purpose. This is where we're headed today. So number 3 is about service. So if you've transcended growth and connection and you're at the service level, this is about your obligation. The reason unfulfillment happens at connection stage is because when you are predominantly doing something for you or your family, this is where you start to wither away. Because you are actually born for so much more than just you or your family. Every human being is. But you've been fed a whole bunch of stuff from society and from your family about playing it small and playing it safe. In this connection stage, this is, pardon me, in this connection stage, this is like, this is surviving. I need to have a business so I can have time freedom. I need to have a business so I can have more money. I need to have a business so I can provide for me and my family. I need to have a business so that I can give my spiritual gifts. You're still making it about you. You're still being I-centric. And when we come from this place of I, this is what causes and creates a lack of fulfillment. It causes and creates emptiness. Your life, your ability, your energy, your capacity is so much bigger than you and the 5 people in your family. And the reason you become unfulfilled is because you're actually minimizing yourself. You're withering away because you're just making it about your immediate circumstances. And then we call this connection. And then we wonder why we feel disconnected. When you make your life about being in service to the entire world and humanity, the entire world and humanity. This is about the ripple that you can create and do create through every person that you serve. And that's what you were born for. Like you literally, we know from a science perspective that your body is made up of atoms that came from stardust billions of years ago. That is how magnificent you are. And you keep getting stuck down here in connection, thinking that your life is just about you and the safetiness around you in your immediate sphere of influence. But your mind, your subconscious, your body, your energetic connection to the universe knows that you are actually destined and put here for so much more than that. You are literally the universe. And the unfulfillment partly comes because you've stuck down here in connection instead of taking on an obligation, because you've been gifted a life, an obligation to be in service of others. And I don't mean saying that I'm here to serve others, but then getting stuck down here in I need to serve for money and I need to serve for my family and I need to have financial freedom and I need more time. When you transcend to the service pillar, you feel a degree of fulfillment. because you are actually connected to all parts of the entire universe, which includes yourself and your family, but it doesn't stop at you and your family. And this is why most people are walking around feeling a lack of joy and unfulfillment, because you've actually lost connection to why you were put here. If we want to use generic terms like purpose, this is why you were put here. This is why you were gifted a life. This is why you were born on the day you were born, and the universe decided that only you and your unique energy could give the gift that you have to offer to this world. But then we get stuck down here thinking that we've got to be grow, and it's all about us. And then we go, well, hang on, I'll do it for my family. I'll connect and help my family and create some financial independence. And then we wonder why we go to bed at night feeling empty, because it's still about us. But once you transcend those pillars, you get to a state of fulfillment. The reason you're unfulfilled is because you're making your life about you. Hard truth. The reason you're lacking joy is because you're making your life about you, what you need, what you want, surviving, thinking that you're finite. I don't have enough energy to give today. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. That's what causes a lack of joy and emptiness and darkness and unfulfillment, because you've forgotten who you really are. And who you really are is a human being that has a gift to give in service to the whole world. And fulfillment is a state of being. It's not a destination. When you live in obligation for your ripple effect, when you remember that your gift is here for all of the universe, not just your immediate sphere of influence, you can't help but be fulfilled. The confused masses are walking around not being able to handle so much because they've created instability because they forgot who they are and why they're here, because they made their life about them. The confused masses stop at the connection level, because at connection level, please listen to this very carefully. You've confused fulfillment with satisfaction. When you're at connection level and your life and your service is about you and your family, you feel satisfied. I've got some money, I've got some time, I've got some struggles that I can whinge about on social media and people will listen to me. I'm getting some attention. This feels satisfying. This feels comfortable. It feels good. It's a placebo, because you're thinking about your life, your kids, your partner, but your life is so much beyond that. And I'm not saying not to think about them. Let me be clear. Remember, I said it's not about removing any of these situations. It's about collecting them and moving up the pillars to fulfillment, to have all of them, all of the pillars, not one or the other, all of them. But the confused masses are walking around not able to take this on and handle it because they get stuck in satisfaction at the connection pillar. And then they walk around feeling like something is missing and that they're not fulfilled, but it's because you haven't allowed yourself to be in obligation to humanity, because that is what you are truly capable of. Satisfaction is a lie. When you dedicate your life to service, you feel fulfilled. I promise you, because this is you and others. It's you and them. These other parts are you. Look, this is you. This is you, pardon me. These two are you and them. Oh, can't change the color, pardon me. Right? You get what I'm saying here though. You and them. Two parts of a whole. So if you want fulfillment, you're going to have to transcend these levels. You're going to have to stop getting stuck at connection and telling yourself the lie that you feel good and you're satisfied, because you're not. You've got to reconnect with your purpose and your vision. And your purpose and your vision is about you and others. It's not just about the immediate day-to-day caring for my friends and family and having enough money in the bank and going to bed at night at a reasonable hour, and Groundhog Day, I hit the alarm and I get up and I do this and I do that. It's the mundane, every day, I know what to expect, that's leaving you unfulfilled. You've forgotten that you are the universe. So when we feel like something is missing, it is. There is something missing. But it's not you that's missing. It's your connection and service to the rest of the world that is missing. So we're going to work on that next week, team, at our mindset class. I want you to get really, really clear on what your obligation is to humanity. Because once you get clear on it, you can't forget it. You know, these things where we think we wake up and we're like, why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Do I want to change my business? Do I want to change my message? Do I want to change? No. Once you are crystal clear on what your service to humanity is, you don't forget it. And then you just keep taking small incremental steps every single day in the service to others, which gives you the fulfillment. So that you don't get on the boat and rock in instability, so that you can get on the boat and you're stable regardless of what's going on around you, because you have such a degree of clarity on why you are here. So you're just getting up every single day, walking in through your life, giving your gift to others. And it doesn't matter about that conflict. It doesn't matter what somebody said on your piece of content. It doesn't matter that somebody sent you a mean DM. It doesn't matter that somebody didn't make the payment on their invoice. It doesn't matter, because when you know what your service and your obligation to humanity is, nothing and no one can stop you. And you are stable and you are fulfilled. So we're going to do that at Mindset Class this coming week, team. There is a link in the comments right now. If you are a Business Builder member, you do not have to pay to come to this. You get it as part of your membership. If you're not a Business Builder member, you are invited to join us, and there is a link in the chat. But the seats are limited. I've capped them, right? It's an intimate experience. Early bird is ending this week, this weekend, pardon me. So if I was you, I would jump into that link right now and secure your spot. Let's get clear. Let's get you stable, so that no matter what goes on in your day, you can't be swayed. You can't be swayed, because you're showing up in service to others and you've got your fulfillment. Team, have an incredible rest of your week. Hit that link and secure your seat if you're not already part of our Business Builder community. And I can't wait to see you there. Bye for now.